Alright, so today I got a 2003 Ford Explorer Sport Trac, 4-wheel drive, doing a rack. Now, I already got it out, but I'll go over what I did to get it out, because these things can be a pain. So, take off your outer tie rods, and then, of course, disconnect your steering shaft, disconnect the pressure line and return line. But the way I get these out is I take off these lines right here as well. This line and this line and take those two lines off right there. 13 millimeters wrench. I take these off, and then also take the sway bar off. There it is. Got 4 15 millimeter bolts that hold the sway bar on. Of course, disconnect your sway bar links. And another thing I forgot is you have to take your cooler off. But what holds the rack on, you got 24 millimeter nut at the bottom, and then kind of like a 24 millimeter bolt on top. But that's how I take it out. As soon as you get those lines off and this power and the sway bar link out, or the sway bar, let me get a light up in there. As soon as you take that sway bar out, get those lines off, we'll slide through here, and you'll pivot it, and it'll come out right through the front right here. You gotta turn, and you're gonna take it out. It's gonna be sitting like that, so you have to turn it where it's facing like this. That way it'll slide those ears through that hole. But also you have this AC line up here. This bracket, 13 millimeter nut on that bracket on right here. Take that nut off, and you can kind of pry on that a little bit, just enough, because that where your steering shaft goes on right here will catch on that hose and keep you from turning it. So if you unbolt that bracket, you're able to turn that 90 and slide everything out. But it's really not that bad. It's just the fact of getting everything out of your way. But that's that. And also on this, I'm doing front wheel bearing. I'm gonna put on a new muffler. A couple other odds and ends. But once I get the new rack in, I'll try to record putting it back in. That way, kind of have a better idea of how it's taken out and put back in. All right, so putting the new rack in, and I'll show you. I removed this little line right here on the new one to put it back in. Take that line out so it gets caught inside of this hole. I'm trying to move that everywhere. Once you get that off, this will slide right in there. So we'll get that put in, throw the line back on, bolt down that bracket. I'll kind of try to get step by step what I'm doing. All right, so you can see it is back in there. Like I said, took this line out, runs to the bottom, to the top right here. Take that one out, because this little bend right here likes to get caught. Makes it a pain in the ass. But yeah, just take this line off, and it goes in. And then another thing you have to worry about is the AC line right here. But if you undo that bracket, you're able to get it wiggled in there and past that. You can pry on it just a little, just enough to bend it out of your way. Not enough to do any damage. As long as you're not cranking on it, which you shouldn't have to. And of course, putting your steering shaft back on there. And then it's a matter of bolting everything back up. Sway bar links, outer tie rods, hoses. Make sure you replace the O-rings. And then I gotta finish up the rest of the vehicle, wheel bearing. I already got the muffler on there. And then you gotta do an oil change and a washer fluid motor or pump. So, but that's the rack right there. Like I said, it's not too bad. Just try to get as much stuff out of your way as you can, and it makes it a lot easier. I'd rather take the time of removing a couple pieces that take about 5 minutes than having to fight with this for an hour to get it past that object. So I'll get everything back together on this, and then I'll show you how I do on my alignment without a machine, just a tape measure. You see, this is the finished product. After getting everything in, bolt it back up. So the way I do my alignments is I set the steering wheel straight, get something to stick in between the seat and the steering wheel to keep it from moving back and forth, or you can wrap your seat belt in here, attach it to your seat your belt buckle, and put some tension on it, keeps it from moving. And then all I do It's fine. The same spot on each side. I'll do a front, back, and the front and the rear. So from here, I usually go from the tire, and then find a good spot to measure from that is on the same side. So here I went to this bolt right there, and I do the center of the bolt to the tire, and do the center of the bolt to the tire, and then I'll find the same thing on the back and do a measurement on the back. So that's how I do my alignments, and they come out pretty straight. So that's it.